really needed to see this on tonight. Wasn't expected after all the clouds. I did a couple of pictures before this right here. Um, but it was just, had a moment yesterday. It was a powerful one. And a loved one ended up being way in Daytona. And first time in Daytona, and ended up getting left up there and received a call rather late last night. And in all these years, 24 years in Orlando, in Florida per se, and I've never ever, MD has never driven to Daytona or other cities like that far out. You understand? Daytona, Tampa, if so, just passing through Miami, that kind of thing. And so, we get that call, and it was a call of distress. So we, Gloria and me got on that road late last night, gassed up and got on that road. And I was headed in a direction I've never been. MD never went in that area the whole time that we've been in Florida. And I'm telling you, by the time we, got all the gas in, Glory, and began to drive and going over the tolls. It's been a long time since MD used a toll, and going into a strange land. And then at the time, my loved one, his phone ended up being cracked, and he was basically borrowing a phone just so he can let someone know where he was. If something was like to go left, this is where he was and the last place he was. And had no idea how to find him. We did the map and everything, Googled all of that, GPS, and we ended up getting up there a little bit after 12, and still had no idea exactly where he would be, because all we received was just like some landmarks, because he didn't even know where he was. And when I said this out of MD's mouth, because really began to get concerned and worried, because I won't even say worried, but just a large proportion of me was just very concerned, because he was in a strange place. It was Bikers Week. I mean, it was just a wild week up in Daytona, and this is MD's first time going up there. And I took the strip, going everywhere they told me to go, and I even stopped to ask the officer for assistance, and they was just so laid back, like, oh, I'll point you in that direction, but, for me moving this vehicle to go search or get out of this vehicle, and that's just not going to happen. And that was like the attitude of the one officer. And let me tell you, just to make the testimony short, but I want to talk more about it because it was so powerful. And when MD was getting to that moment of feeling like, I really don't like to feel like that, but I felt helpless and no way to find out where he was, because his phone was just literally destroyed. It was ran over. He dropped it or whatever it was, but it was just totally destroyed. And just to hope he could find somebody that he could talk to or use the phone at that time of night. And thank God for angels that, we dispersed them angels to be around him and all, until I said to him to keep him comfort until the real angel get there. And I'm telling you, went all up and down that one strip, and there was so many people there, and to find him would be like a needle in a haystack. And after several times going up the same strip and not seeing him, all of a sudden, I remember this was where the PowerPoint came in. It was one gentleman, I just can't remember if it would happen before or after, but there's one gentleman that looked just like my son. And I started tooting at him, you understand? And when I got close up to him, I was like, that's not him. That's not my son. That's my loved one I'm talking about. And let me tell you this. By the time I went to look at this phone right here, MD went to grab this device and pick it up and look at it. When I grabbed it to look at it, it had 1218 on it. Now, what's so powerful about that is because before all of that was really happening, and all of a sudden, MD felt overwhelmed, and like, to find him is like a needle in a haystack, and I received this address and this address, and this is the actual, um, direction that we last received, and he didn't even know where he was at. Let me tell you something. When MD said, I really need my angel to show up, I really need my angel to show up, I really need to know that everything is all right. And that's what the time when we grabbed the phone, it said 12:18. When that happened, MD knew everything was all right. Went to make that U-turn, come back up. And then all of a sudden, God is my witness. I knew I would find him after that powerful encounter of 12:18. Exactly. Picked up the phone, looked at it, and it said 12:18. And I knew, I got the knowing that everything would be all right. And I'm telling you, when we come right back up to like the main street, like the actual address, right there at the light, there was this individual, and she was flagging me down. She was flagging me down. And I'm looking at her flagging me down, and he's standing right there, and I'm like, where did he just suddenly pop up? And I've been up and down this strip and haven't seen him, and all of a sudden he just popped up, and he popped up right at the light. And what he had said to her was, if you see this lady in a black Mercedes, that's my mother. Wave her down or whatever. And I'm looking at him like, there he is, just like, it was so powerful. And he was standing, listen to this, right at the light. So I just couldn't wait for a moment when that X would come back in the sky just to say thank you. Because believe it or not, MD don't believe we would have found him in a needle in a haystack if it wasn't for the angel showing up to let me know that everything would be all right. All right. It's a little bit after I want to say 7 o'clock hour, but we'll put the time on. The time will already be on the video, but looks like it's going back up into the clouds. But thank God for the victory. And yes, we recovered him, and he brought him back here to Orlando without any harm. And that was just a great blessing from the Spirit.